Taurus, the animals are looking at you differently. And I'm not talking about a casual glance, one of those quick looks any animal gives when someone walks by. I'm talking about a fixed, penetrating gaze, as if they see something in you that other people don't, as if they recognize something. And the strangest thing is, this is happening with increasing frequency. Dogs in the street stop and stare at you. Cats that never paid you any attention now approach you. Birds land near you and stay there, watching. And you tried to ignore it, tried to rationalize it as a coincidence, but something inside you knows it's not. Let me ask you a direct, point-blank question. When was the last time you stopped to truly look at yourself? Not in the mirror, where you only see the surface, but inside. When was the last time you really paid attention to what's happening to you? Because something is changing, and animals perceive this before any human does. They aren't distracted by words, by social masks, by all this pretense we put on to survive in the world. They feel it, they see energy, and your energy, Taurus, is different. It's more intense, more visible, more alive. Look, I know this sounds strange. I know you prefer concrete, tangible things that make logical sense. And suddenly, I'm here talking to you about animals looking at you as if it were some mystical sign. But stay with me for a few minutes, because what I'm about to reveal will explain not only that, but a series of other strange things you've been feeling lately. That inexplicable weight, that feeling of being watched, even when you're alone. Those vivid dreams that you wake up remembering every detail of, that heightened intuition that suddenly started whispering truths you didn't ask to hear. The animals are watching you because you're waking up. And I'm not talking about awakening in the cliché, New Age sense that everyone throws around without knowing what it means. I'm talking about a real, visceral, terrifying awakening. You're emerging from an emotional numbness that lasted for years. You're starting to feel again. And truly feeling, Taurus, is terrifying, because when you were numb, nothing could really hurt you. But now you're exposed, vulnerable, open, and that changes everything. Let me tell you what's really happening. For a long time, you built a fortress around yourself, not of stone, but of indifference, of everything's fine, of I can handle it, of I don't need anyone. You convinced yourself that strength meant not feeling, that stability meant not being shaken, that maturity meant not caring so much, and it worked. It protected you. It kept you sane while chaos raged around you. But it also imprisoned you. It left you half dead inside. And now, something is breaking down those walls. Something is forcing you back to life. And the animals, they are witnessing this rebirth. Because animals don't lie, Taurus. They don't pretend. When an animal looks you in the eyes and holds your gaze, it's recognizing a soul. It's seeing you beyond the human performance. And what they're seeing now is someone who is becoming real again, someone who is dropping the masks, someone whose essence is beginning to pulsate with a force that can no longer be hidden. And that's beautiful, but it's also frightening for you, because being truly seen means having nowhere to hide. And here's the part that will get to you. It's not just the animals. People have also sensed something different about you, even if they can't name it. Have you noticed strange looks, people treating you differently for no apparent reason? Some people getting closer, others distancing themselves. This isn't paranoia. You're emanating a different frequency, and people react to that. Some are drawn to you because they recognize your authenticity. Others distance themselves because your truth exposes their lies. Animals are just more honest about it. They look you in the eye without shame. Now take a deep breath with me, because what I'm about to tell you is crucial. This change happening to you isn't optional. You didn't choose it. You didn't ask permission. It's simply happening, like a metamorphosis you can't stop, even if you try. And Taurus, you've been trying, haven't you? You've been trying to go back to normal. You've been trying to regain that sense of control you had before. You've been trying to close the emotional floodgates that opened again, but it doesn't work anymore. You can postpone it, you can resist, but you can't stop it. And the more you fight against it, the more intense it becomes. So let me ask you another question, and think carefully before answering. Why are you so afraid of feeling? It's not a rhetorical question. It's real. What scares you so much about the idea of being vulnerable, of being open, of being truly alive? Because there's something there. Some old pain you buried deep, some disappointment that made you swear you'd never surrender like that again. Some loss that taught you that loving, trusting, caring hurts too much to be worth it. And you've built a whole life on top of that fear. But Taurus, you can't live like this anymore. Your body knows it, your soul knows it, and that's why it's forcing you to awaken, even against your will. The animals are watching you because they recognize this struggle. They see someone fighting between two worlds, the safe but dead world where you've lived until now, and the frightening but alive world that's calling to you. And they're rooting for you. They're watching you with curiosity, with silent support, wanting to see if you'll have the courage to cross over. Because in the animal kingdom, there is no middle ground. You're either alive or you're dead. There's no such thing as living half a life that humans invented. And do you know the truth that nobody dares to tell you? You're getting stronger, not weaker. That vulnerability that's scaring you so much, it's power, real power. Because when you stop wasting energy pretending, all that strength can be used to truly live. When you stop protecting yourself from everything, you can finally connect with something. When you allow things to touch you, you discover that you can touch things too, and that changes everything. Let me tell you something about yourself that you might not know. You've always had this connection with the natural world. Always. Even when you ignored it, even when you lived disconnected, that bridge always existed. Taurus is earth, its roots. It's a deep connection with everything that is alive and real. But you unlearned that. Urban life, obligations, the need to be practical and productive, all of that distanced you from your essential nature. And now it's pulling you back. Animals are just messengers. They are reminders of who you really are when you remove all the layers of social conditioning. And here's something you need to understand. This change isn't just emotional, it's physical too. Have you been feeling strange things in your body? Unexplained tiredness some days, intense energy on others, increased sensitivity to sounds, smells, environments, a sudden urge to be in nature, to walk on the earth, to feel the wind. This isn't random. Your body is opening itself to frequencies it had blocked. And this is uncomfortable because there's no instruction manual. Nobody taught you how to deal with it. But animals know. They live connected all the time, and when they look at you, they recognize you as one of their own, as someone who is returning home, to that primordial connection that existed before language, before thought, before all this mental circus that humans have created. They look at you and see someone who is beginning to remember, and they stay, observing, waiting to see what you will do with that memory. And look, I know there's a part of you that wants to reject all of this, that wants to laugh, say it's crazy, that they're just animals being animals. But there's another part, a smaller, quieter part, that knows I'm telling the truth, that feels this is real, that recognizes, in my words, something you've felt but haven't been able to name. And it's to that part that I'm speaking. It's that part that needs to hear this. It's that part that needs permission to finally emerge. Because I'm going to tell you a secret. You've spent so much time being who others need you to be that you've forgotten who you are when no one's watching. You've forgotten what you truly like, what makes you feel alive, what makes your heart beat faster. You've become a machine for fulfilling expectations, for being reliable, for being stable, for being secure. But all of that is just a role you play. It's not you. And deep down, in the most secret part of your soul, there's a wildness waiting to come out, a raw, natural, untamed force. And that's what the animals are seeing. That's what's starting to seep through the cracks in your armor. Now answer me this. What would you do if you weren't afraid? If you could let go of everything that holds you back and live according to your deepest truth? Where would you be? Who would you be with? what would you be doing? And more importantly, why aren't you doing it yet? Because the answer you'll give, whatever it may be, is the lie you tell yourself to justify staying in prison. I can't because I need financial stability. I can't because people depend on me. I can't because it's irresponsible. All lies. You don't do it because you're afraid. And it's okay to be afraid. But don't pretend it's something else. The animals are watching you because they have no patience for lies. And you're starting to run out of patience too. You're starting to get tired of your own performance, of your own excuses, of the life you've built to please everyone but yourself. And this weariness is good. It's necessary. Because only when you get tired of lying do you finally find the courage for the truth. And there's something else you need to know. These encounters with animals will intensify. They won't stop. They will become more frequent, more obvious, more impossible to ignore. Because you are in a process, and the universe or God or life, whatever you want to call it, won't let you go back. It won't let you fall asleep again. You woke up, and now you have to deal with what comes with it. You have to learn to live awake, even when it hurts, even when it scares you, even when you just want to return to the comfort of unconsciousness. And here's the part that might sound crazy, but it's true. Some of these animals have specific messages for you. Not messages in words, obviously, but in their presence, in their behavior. A dog that appears at the exact moment you need company. A bird that sings when you're feeling most alone. A cat that touches you when you're about to fall apart. This isn't a coincidence. This is life showing you that you're not alone, that there's an invisible web of connection that sustains you even when you think you're floating in the void. But you will only perceive these messages if you stop trying to control everything, if you stop living in your head and start feeling with your body. Because the connection with animals doesn't happen on a mental level. It happens in a deeper, more instinctive place. It's pure energy. And you, Taurus, are beginning to operate on that frequency again. That's why they see you. That's why they approach you. That's why they recognize you as one of their own. And there's something about this connection that's important for you to understand. It comes with responsibility. When you're awake, when you're feeling everything with this intensity, you can no longer pretend you don't see the suffering around you. You can no longer ignore your own emotional needs. You can no longer ignore when something is wrong. You're going to have to act. You're going to have to make choices. You're going to have to change things in your life that are killing you inside. And that's scary because it means stepping out of your comfort zone. It means disappointing people. It means causing discomfort, but it also means finally being alive, finally being present, finally being yourself without filters, without editing, without censorship. And when you reach that point, when you finally have the courage to be real, something magical happens. The right people appear, the right opportunities open up. Life begins to flow instead of being a constant struggle, because you stop rowing against the current and start going in the direction your heart always knew was right. Animals know this. They live this way naturally. They don't stay in jobs they hate. They don't maintain relationships that suffocate them. They don't pretend to be what they're not to gain approval. They simply are. And when they look at you, they're inviting you to remember this simplicity, this authenticity, this courage to exist without masks. Now let me prepare you for something. As you continue this awakening process, some people will find you strange. They'll say you've changed, that you're different, that you're not the same anymore. And they're right. You're not the same anymore. You're becoming who you always were before they learned to mold you. And that will bother those who benefited from your dormancy, those who needed you to be small, controllable, predictable. These people will resist. They will try to bring you back, and you will have to choose between their approval and your own life. You choose. You always choose, because the animals have already chosen you. Life has already chosen you. Everything that is true and alive in the universe has already recognized you as belonging. All that's left is for you to choose yourself too. All that's left is for you to have the courage to honor who you truly are, even if it means losing people, situations, versions of yourself that no longer serve you. And there's one last thing I need to tell you, and pay attention because this is important. This connection with animals, it's just the beginning. It's the gateway to something much bigger. When you reconnect with nature, with animals, with everything that is alive and real, you reconnect with yourself, with the part of you that is instinct, intuition, ancestral wisdom, the part that knows the answers before the questions, the part that recognizes truth before the mind tries to explain. And when you live from that place, everything changes. You stop needing external validation. You stop doubting every step. You stop living in fear of the future or trapped in the past. You begin to exist here now in this moment, which is the only place where life truly happens. And that, Taurus, is freedom. Real freedom. Not the illusion of freedom that comes from having money or free time, but the inner freedom to be exactly who you are, without shame, without fear, without excuses. Animals already live like this, and they're watching you because they know you're starting to remember. They're witnessing your awakening. They're silently supporting you in this transition from a sleeping person to an awakened soul. And every time you make eye contact with an animal and feel that strange recognition, that moment when you truly see each other, you're being reminded you're not alone. You're part of something much bigger than yourself, and that something sustains you, guides you, protects you, even when you don't realize it. And there's something else that needs to be said here, something that will make everything make sense. Animals aren't just looking at you, they're teaching you. Every encounter is a lesson. Every look is a message. Observe the next time it happens. Observe how you feel. That strange peace that comes out of nowhere when an animal approaches. That inner silence that you can't access on your own. It's as if they have the power to turn off all that mental noise that consumes you. And they do, because they exist in a state of presence that you lost years ago. And when you're near them, even if only for seconds, you remember what it's like to be present. And you know what else? You've been avoiding this presence on purpose, because when you're truly present, you feel everything. And feeling everything hurts. You feel the pain you've been dragging along. You feel the loneliness you've been denying. You feel the emptiness you've been trying to fill with work, with obligations, with constant busyness. The animals force you to stop. They force you to be there. And that scares you, because you've built your whole life on always being in motion, always busy, always distracted from what really matters. But let me tell you something about pain. It doesn't go away because you ignore it. It just accumulates. It transforms into tension in your body, into insomnia, into unexpected outbursts of anger or sadness. And it reaches a point where you can't bear it anymore. That's why the animals are appearing now. Because you're finally ready to feel, ready to process, ready to release what you've been holding on to so tightly that your hands are bleeding. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need a logical explanation for every feeling you're experiencing. You don't need to scientifically prove why animals look at you or what it means. You just need to allow it to be strange, allow it to be inexplicable, allow it to be true even if it doesn't make rational sense. Because not everything in life fits into a spreadsheet, Taurus. Not everything can be controlled, organized, explained. Some things simply are, and this is one of them. Animals aren't waiting for you to understand. They're waiting for you to feel. They're inviting you to step out of your head and into your body, to exchange thought for sensation, to replace analysis with experience. And when you do that, when you finally let go of the need to control and explain everything, you'll discover that there's a wisdom in your body that's older and more reliable than anything your mind can invent. A wisdom that knows exactly what you need, even when you don't know it yourself. And animals live by this wisdom all the time. So what do you do now with all of this? Simple. You accept it. You stop fighting. You stop trying to go back to who you were. You embrace this new version of yourself that is emerging. You trust the process even without fully understanding it. And the next time an animal looks you in the eyes and holds your gaze, look back without fear, without shame. Acknowledge what it is showing you, that you are alive, that you are real, that you deserve to exist in all your intensity and truth. And then, Taurus, you live. Finally, truly, completely live. Subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments if you have any animals nearby. And tell me, when was the last time you allowed yourself to be seen like this, completely stripped of all protections and still felt safe?